Welcome to World Untold. Today we ask, how did Texas, a state once considered an empty desert, transform into an economic powerhouse? Do you know of a state in America whose economy is now bigger than Russia, bigger than Australia, and even bigger than South Korea? We're talking about Texas. This state was once its own independent country, a land so vast it could contain 10 different countries within its borders. If Texas were a country, its $2 trillion GDP would rank it as the 8th largest economy on the entire planet. And yet, just 200 years ago, Texas was nothing but empty desert and cattle. The answer to its rise involves war, oil, and a dramatic historical transformation. Let us go back to the year 1820. At this time, Texas was a vast, mostly empty part of Mexico, largely desert and grasslands. American settlers were invited in by the Mexican government to populate the land, but they brought their own culture and ideas. Tensions inevitably grew. In 1835, Texas declared war on Mexico. The Battle of the Alamo, though a loss for the Texans, became the legendary symbol of their struggle, turning, quote, "Remember the Alamo," into the battle cry for independence in 1836. For 10 years, Texas was its own country, with a president, currency, and army. While it joined the United States in 1845, Texas is the only U.S. state legally allowed to fly its flag at the same height as the American flag, a reminder that it was once a sovereign nation. Texas was largely a farming and cattle state until the dawn of the 20th century, when everything changed. For most of the 1800s, Texas was important but not extraordinary, relying mainly on agriculture. Then came January 10, 1901, at Spindletop Hill. After weeks of drilling, the ground shook, and with a deafening roar, oil exploded 100 feet into the air. That single gusher flowed for 9 days, producing more oil than all other U.S. wells combined. The American oil industry was born that day, with Texas at its center, attracting companies and creating instant millionaires. But Texas didn't stop there. It kept reinventing itself, developing the most diverse economy of any U.S. state today. In energy, Texas leads the USA in oil and natural gas production, but also surprisingly leads in wind energy, producing more than most countries. Austin is now known as Silicon Hills. Tech giants like Apple, Google, Oracle, and Tesla, which moved its world headquarters from California, all have major operations here. In space, NASA's Mission Control is in Houston. When astronauts face a problem, the first word they say is Houston. Texas is truly where we launch our future. Texas also dominates in agriculture, being the largest producer of cattle, cotton, and sheep in the United States. Furthermore, it exports more goods than any other U.S. state, trading with 200 countries worldwide. Now let's talk about some facts that will completely change how you see the Lone Star State. Texas is so large, the distance from its eastern to western border is greater than the distance from London to Moscow. With 30 million people, its population surpasses the entire country of Australia. Texas has more Fortune 500 company headquarters than any other state, and, crucially, no state income tax, which is why it gains one new resident every 3 minutes, every single day. Texas proves that resources alone don't build greatness. It takes a culture of pride, resilience, and the refusal to stay small, forever maintaining its bold and independent spirit.